And right now, a bomb threat cleared after students in Stoughton were forced to evacuate River Bluff Middle School.
Also, it's Giving Tuesday. One local nonprofit shares just how important the generosity is for their community.
And two local farmers are hanging up their hats and shovels. Our Kyle Pazorski spoke to them today. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. We start with breaking news this evening. Stoughton police are investigating after a bomb threat was reported at River Bluff Middle School today.
Authorities say the scene is now clear. Our Armand Rahman is in Stoughton and joins us with the details.
Mark and Susan, law enforcement actually just gave the all clear that the River Bluff Middle School building is safe around 3:15 or 3:30 today. And that's the building you can see behind me that's tan and brick behind the school district building. Now, they say around 1 p.m. the bomb threat was reported to them, and they evacuated students and staff to a nearby location off the campus as a precautionary measure. And that's where kids were reunited with their parents to come and get them. And I'm seeing right now, as we've been talking, staff heading back from that location into the building. Along with the Stoughton authorities, the Dane County Sheriff's Office, Madison Police Department, and Capitol Police and UW-Madison Police all responded. They found nothing suspicious or dangerous inside the middle school, they tell us. And Stoughton police say there is no threat to the public right now as they continue investigating. They ask if you have any information to give them a call.
Armand, thank you. To weather now, it was another cold day today, but a warm-up is on the way. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Gary Canalti is on the weather patio. Gary?
Hi, Susan. It doesn't feel like it out here right now, but those temperatures will be warming up for tomorrow. As we start out by looking at visible cloud tracks, still a lot of snow on the ground across southern Wisconsin. I shouldn't say a lot widespread snow cover, but it's for the most part very thin, maybe about an inch or so in most areas. But a lot of that will melt tomorrow as temperatures warm up into the lower 40s. Doppler track, the lake effect snow still on the other side of Lake Michigan and downwind from Lake Superior into far northern Wisconsin, but that's pretty much it for precipitation. Last night we dropped to 9 degrees in Madison. Many locations were in the single digits, and take a look at Black River Falls. They were at 8 below zero. Teens were found closer to Lake Michigan. These are current temperatures. They're right around 20 degrees, and they may only go up or down a degree or two over the next couple of hours before starting to rise overnight. Here in Dane County, right now 20 degrees in Waunakee, down to 19 in Perry and 20 in McFarland. And wind chills right now are generally in the single digits to lower teens. Look for temperatures to hold nearly steady around 20 degrees this evening. Later on, I'll take a look at a warm-up for tomorrow and Thursday.
All right, Gary, we'll check back. Thank you. It is Giving Tuesday, and nonprofits are asking consumers to think of them following all of the holiday shopping.
Our Maddie Heim spent the day at a local nonprofit and learned about the big impact of this special day. Maddie?
Susan, Mark, officials at the Literacy Network here in Madison told me that last year they received $17,000 in donations on Giving Tuesday. This year, with a growing number of students, they hope to sustain their services. They need donations to do it.
Every time we get funding, that enables us to add classes. We are growing beyond the building. We have classes in the community, so we put money into instructors for classes. That's where the money goes.
The classes offered include reading, writing, college preparation, citizenship test preparation, and computer skills. This year, the network served a record number of 1,300 students, all working towards big goals.
Part of it is, of course, learning the language, but also becoming a part of the community here, knowing how things work, feeling the confidence to actually participate in things. It can be as small as just ordering something at a restaurant.
Ina Lonendijk is an ESL instructor at the network, as well as the Refugee Services Manager. She says her students have a variety of ambitions, from getting a new job to communicating with their children's teachers. Latanya Langston is an alumni of the program. She's already giving back by now serving as their Student Services Coordinator.
Awesome to make people feel comfortable, because sometimes when we're working on things in basic education, we're not so comfortable.
She says the network is what helped her get her GED, and now she's working towards higher education. Continue serving students, the Literacy Network is asking for help from the community this Giving Tuesday. To give your support to them or other nonprofits in the Madison area, visit channel3000.com for more information.
Maddie, thank you. Cyber Monday 2023 was the biggest online shopping day ever. Americans spent $12.4 billion, according to Adobe Analytics. That means consumers spend $15.7 million every minute. This year's sales beat initial expectations and jumped nearly 10% from 2022. Adobe said hot sellers included Hot Wheels, Mario Kart toys, smartwatches, televisions, and video game systems.
To make sure that gifts arrive in time for the holidays, be mindful of when your packages need to be shipped out. FedEx recommends a shipping date no later than December 15th for 5-day home delivery. The U.S. Postal Service says packages should be sent out by December 16th for them to arrive by Christmas. If you're shipping priority, you have 4 extra days to get those packages to the post office.
Well, 2 Madison farmers are calling it a career. The Tice Brothers farm has been in their family since the late 1930s.
You might recognize the farm on Mineral Point Road. It has survived nearly 9 decades, while countless developments have gone up all around it. Our Kyle Pozorski met with younger brother Randy about all of the changes and what's next for them. Kyle?
Randy and his brother Laverne became partners on the family farm back in the 1970s. Now with all those years under their belts, they say it's time to slow down. This week an auction is taking place to sell off their farming equipment. It's admittedly a sore spot for Randy, but says it's time. The farm is one of the last operating on Mineral Point Road on the far west side. So when I asked him why the family has stuck around while others sold their land, he said because he couldn't beat the great location.
I could have relocated over years, but I could take a 4-wheeler to work in the morning to the farm, and there ain't a lot of people can say that. You know, we're a mile from a grocery store or whatever you need. It just seemed like to be maybe a time to move on.
This satellite time lapse we put together shows just how much the area surrounding the farm has changed in the past 20 years. New roads built, old ones removed, and loads of new housing developments springing up. The one constant, the brothers' farm. Randy says the immediate plan is to keep the property and rent it out to other area farmers. The auction of their equipment will take place now through next week, Tuesday.
Kyle, thank you. The latest data from the DNR shows that hunters killed significantly fewer deer during the state's 9-day gun season this year compared to last. Hunters reported a total of 173,942 deer harvested during this season. That is a 17% decrease from the season last year. It's also 11% below the state's 5-year average. Hunters in northern Wisconsin saw the steepest declines.
Well, today, 22-year-old Ivan Smart was in court for allegedly sexually assaulting a woman on State Street last summer. Opening statements were given by both the prosecution and defense. The victim says Smart and another man grabbed and touched her without consent on July 24th of 2022. The 2 men then forced the woman into a vehicle and drove away with her inside. Smart then allegedly continued to assault the victim. The victim fought back and was able to escape the vehicle. Smart was arrested and charged on July 28th.
Today, a state Senate committee is considering some new legislation about what your child reads at school. The bills would require school boards and public libraries to notify a parent about what books students under 16 check out. Several Republican state senators are backing the bill. This as multiple other states are seeing bans on books related to race and LGBTQ+ issues. Well, even if Badger fans weren't ready to hear it, the writing has been on the wall.
Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen announced that he is declaring for the NFL draft today. Our Andrew Bransta is in studio now with more. Andrew?
Yeah, you said it. It felt like it was a foregone conclusion that the junior was going to head to the NFL, and he confirmed it today in a video on X. The Fond du Lac native, who is only 19 years old, burst onto the scene as a freshman at Wisconsin and never looked back. He rushed for over 100 yards in 20 of his 35 games at UW, and his 3,494 rushing yards ranked 9th in Wisconsin history. Allen said in part, "It's always been my dream to play in the NFL, and I believe I'm ready to chase that next step. Once a Badger, always a Badger on Wisconsin." Mark and Susan, Allen didn't specify whether he'd play in the Badgers' upcoming bowl game, but given the timing of the announcement, it seems very unlikely.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
19 years old.
Yeah,
Oh.
Good luck to him.
Andrew, thank you. Well, family, loved ones, and dignitaries are honoring the memory of former President Jimmy Carter's wife, First Lady Rosalind Carter. Former President Jimmy Carter, who is 99 and receiving hospice care at home, attended Tuesday's service in Atlanta. He was joined by President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden, former President Bill Clinton, and former First Lady Hillary Clinton. Family members and leaders from across the country have remembered her as a lifelong humanitarian and a passionate advocate for a number of causes, including mental health and caregiving. Daughter Amy Carter read a letter written by her father, former President Jimmy Carter, to her mother, Rosalind Carter.
My darling, every time I have ever been away from you, I have been thrilled when I returned to discover just how wonderful you are. While I am away, I try to convince myself that you really are not, could not be, as sweet and beautiful as I remember. But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again.
Rosalind Carter died on November 19th at the age of 96.
In Washington today, members of the Senate held a hearing to discuss ways to tackle the gun violence epidemic that is gripping the nation. Judiciary Committee Chair Dick Durbin cited data that shows 48,000 people in the U.S. were killed in firearm-related deaths last year. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle heard from experts working to address the crisis, including doctors and gun control advocates.
America's total number of gun deaths is the highest on record, and our rate nears its peak. Firearm deaths have surpassed breast cancer deaths in America. Firearms are now the leading cause of death for American children age 1 through 19. Although mass shootings get the most media attention, 2/3 of firearm deaths are preventable suicides, averaged over the last decade, like that young man I cared for 15 years ago.
Guns are now the #1 cause of death among America's children and teenagers.
After the break, we'll get a look at your first warn forecast with Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti.
And the latest on the Hamas hostage releases, plus humanitarian efforts happening in Gaza right now. We'll have that and more coming up on News 3 Now at 5.
Stocks edged higher on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials gained 83 points. The NASDAQ added 40. The S&P 500 tacked on almost 4.5. And we'll be right back.
You're the people who make junk disappear?
We brought a whole truckload of magic.
1-800-JUNK, I love you.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
SSM Health and News 3 Now would like to invite you and your family to make a colorful connection this giving season.
Go to channel3000.com to download a Time for Kids coloring sheet or find it in November's Madison magazine. Add color and a kind message, then mail it to SSM Health.
They'll share with a hospital patient who can't be home for the holidays.
And you might even see it on News 3 Now. Take time for kids and spread joy to others by making a colorful connection.
It's Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Black Friday Extended event going on now. Join us for more unbeatable Black Friday-like deals store-wide while supplies last. Like over 65% off these velvet animal throws, just $7.99. Over 55% off this vacuum sealer starter kit, $49.99. Women's Alfred Dunner fashion collections half price. And get a free $15 gift card when you spend $75 on Purina Pro Plan pet food. Don't miss your last chance to save with extended Black Friday-like deals at Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Whatever the holidays mean to you, get the most out of them in a new Honda. Whether it's taking in the lights with all your friends in a spacious Accord, or taking in a snow day in a rugged CR-V. Your holiday adventure awaits with a new Honda during Happy Honda Days. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
There's never been a better time to buy a new beauty rest from Steinhoffels. Save up to $900 on adjustable base sets. Queen Beauty Rest mattresses start at just $399. Or upgrade to the luxury and comfort of a Beauty Rest Black for only $44 per month when you use Steinhoffels' 72-month financing. Plus, get $300 in Steinhoffels cash and a $100 MasterCard rewards card. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
You're the people who make junk disappear?
We brought a whole truckload of magic.
1-800-JUNK, I love you.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Tonight on News 3 Now, 2 local farmers retire after decades in the field right on the outskirts of Madison. How their view has changed from plots of corn to rows of apartments. See their story tonight at 6.
Start your new day with the News 3 Now This Morning team, bringing you local breaking news, exploring all that makes our area special, and letting you know what to expect when you head out the door. The Emmy Award-winning News 3 Now This Morning, weekdays.
Israel said another group of hostages, including 10 Israelis, has returned to Israel today. In exchange, Israel released another 30 Palestinian prisoners. It's part of a 2-day extension of the temporary ceasefire between Hamas and Israel.
CBS News has learned CIA Director William Burns is in Qatar for talks to try to reach an even longer truce. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
Another group of hostages took their first steps of freedom, arriving into Egypt Tuesday as part of the deal extending the temporary ceasefire between Hamas and Israel. 60 Israeli hostages have now been freed under the agreement. But the agony continues for the relatives of the youngest hostage, 10-month-old Kafir Bibas, and his 4-year-old brother Ariel, who were abducted along with their parents.
We don't know where they are being held. What is their condition?
A Hamas official told CBS News it's looking to extend the pause in fighting even further, which could result in the release of not just women and children being held, but also men and abducted Israeli soldiers. The White House has said it wants to see the pause continue as long as prisoners keep coming out.
We're determined to continue that for as long as possible to bring as many people home as we possibly can.
CBS News has confirmed that CIA Director William Burns attended meetings in Qatar about the conflict and the hostages. Israel continues to release Palestinian prisoners as part of the deal. The truce extension has also enabled the UN to deliver even more desperately needed food and other humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza.
Our team saw hunger, desperation, and destruction.
The White House says U.S. military flights with additional aid, including medical and winter-related supplies, are expected to arrive soon. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Well, the first major snowfall of the season hit parts of the Midwest and Northeast regions today. Take a look at this video from Lake County, Ohio. More than 100 Ohio schools, including Mentor and Cleveland, closed today because of the weather. Ohio isn't the only state to see snow. Residents in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and New York are bundling up and digging out their cars as well. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti now with a look at that snow. A lot of lake effect snow the way it looks.
Yeah, you can see how the spotty nature of the lake effect snow. This is snow vision, snowfall accumulations over the last 24 hours. Eastern end of Lake Erie into areas south of Buffalo, about a foot of snow there, maybe as much as 2 feet of snow in western New York State, east of Lake Ontario. There's the snow around Cleveland, about 6 to 12 inches there, and even some 6 to 12 inch amounts south of Grand Rapids and up into parts of northern upper Michigan. Lake effect snow is still there, but not as intense as they were yesterday, but you can clearly see the bands moving across the Great Lakes. Here are some of the lake effect snow getting into far northern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan. Southern Wisconsin, though, free of precipitation, and it looks like we'll stay quiet for a while. There's still snow on the ground, but it's a light snow cover. That's keeping temperatures down at night. Last night we dropped to 9 degrees in Madison. There were spots that dropped below 0 in parts of central and northwestern Wisconsin. Most of the major reporting stations were in the single digits. But 3 things you need to know: look for mild weather to return for tomorrow and Thursday, and above normal temperatures will continue into the weekend. We'll see some rain and snow shower chances for this weekend into early next week, but it shouldn't amount to very much. Precipitation will be light, and I'm not expecting any snow accumulations. And then mild weather with high temperatures back into the 40s return by the end of next week. Much of the country now quiet other than the lake effect snows there. The next storm system getting ready to hit California and the west coast. That will actually warm us up as it moves inland and switches our winds to a more southwesterly direction. Planning your night, temperatures starting out in the lower 20s by 9 p.m. But notice how they stay nearly steady overnight. We clear out for a time, some clouds come back in, but the winds picking up out of the southwest will bring temperatures into the middle 20s 20s by early tomorrow morning, and we'll look for high temperatures tomorrow, like I say, probably in the lower 40s. Planning your night, 24 for the low in Mount Vernon, 23 in DeForest, 23 in Marshall across Dane County. The rest of southern Wisconsin, low 26 in La Crosse, 23 in Camp Douglas, and 23 in Prairie du Chien. For Madison, look for a high of 41 tomorrow with mostly sunny skies, so a milder day. That'll certainly feel nice. And the first warn 7 to 10 day forecast keeps us in the low 40s on Thursday. A little cooler for Friday. Some snow shower chances Friday night. Some rain and snow shower chances Saturday, ending Sunday morning. Another chance of rain and snow showers Sunday night into Monday morning. And then after that, relatively quiet weather for next week. High temperatures, though, back into lower 40s by Thursday and Friday. As we check out first warn traffic, eastbound Beltline right now not looking too good. Seeing delays from around John Nolan Drive back to around Fish Hatchery Road. As far as travel times are concerned, it's about a 28-minute trip on the eastbound Beltline between University Avenue and I-3990. Only 15 minutes back in the westbound direction and 20 minutes from Sun Prairie inbound to downtown. Same time on the outbound trip there. I-3990 from the Beltline to Janesville will take you 26 minutes, and US 12 Middleton to Sauk City is a 17-minute commute. That's your News 3 Now first warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. Well, after all that holiday travel, you may want to mask up. Well, coming up, we'll have details on where COVID-19 stands today.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, and you'll have a chance to win a new Mercedes and a shot at $100,000 in cash. It's the Mega Jackpot Winners Quarterly Drawings going on now at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
Christmas season, shop Masterforce at Menards with gifts so good, the stockings stuff themselves.
Warm season's greetings to you all from Menards.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there is now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
Win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, and you'll have a chance to win a new Mercedes and a shot at $100,000 in cash. It's the Mega Jackpot Winners Quarterly Drawings going on now at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Well, after a busy holiday travel weekend, respiratory virus season is ramping up across most of the country.
According to the Centers for Disease Control, they suggest there will be about the same number of hospitalizations as last season. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how to keep yourself and your family healthy.
Across the U.S., flu, COVID-19, and RSV are spreading.
It is that time of year, and we know that all of the respiratory viral illnesses are starting to ramp up.
Flu cases are rising across most of the country, especially in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and South Carolina. While outpatient visits for flu-like illnesses are lower than this time last year, they're still higher than the previous 4 seasons. COVID-19 hospital admissions and emergency department visits are also on the rise again after a few weeks of decline.
I was in the hospital on call this holiday weekend, and I'm certainly starting to see more people being hospitalized, mainly with COVID.
Dr. Kristen England with Cleveland Clinic says it's not too late to protect you and your family through vaccination. More than a third of adults and children have gotten a flu shot this year. When it comes to the new COVID-19 vaccine, nearly 16% of adults and just over 6% of children have gotten it, and nearly 15% of adults ages 60 and up have gotten the new RSV vaccine.
Vaccinations will always be the key way to prevent the transmission of any of these respiratory viral illnesses.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you think that you have COVID, doctors say it's still important to do an at-home test so that you're aware that if you have the virus, you can take the proper precautions to avoid spreading the illness.
Well, Late Show TV host Stephen Colbert is on the mend after he ruptured his appendix. He underwent surgery and is now recovering. Colbert announced on social media he has to cancel this week's shows because of what happened. He also joked all emails to his appendix will now be handled by his pancreas. The Late Show Stephen Colbert will go into repeats until next week. Colbert also missed some shows last month after he tested positive for COVID-19.
We'll get a final check of your First Warn forecast when we come back.
Embrace the season of giving at the Century House. Donate $50 or more to charity and get $200 off any stressless recliner with power, any stressless recliner and ottoman, or any stressless home office chair. Or get $200 off each stressless sofa seat, or $400 off all stressless Mayfair recliners and ottomans in all Paloma leather colors. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
Stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays that can take 30 minutes to an hour. I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Power Swabs. When I met Dr. Ginniker and he introduced me to Power Swabs and I saw how effective they were and how easy they were to use, I knew we had to share it with the world. Power Swabs was clinically studied to whiten natural teeth as well as stain caps, crowns, and veneers. It's so effective, it works on stains caused by coffee, tea, red wine, and even smoking. For those of you who have that one stained tooth that's darker than the rest, Power Swabs can target that area using swab precision.
My favorite thing about the Power Swabs is that I was actually able to take the swab and really get through some of those areas that are kind of like untreated. I felt like I can immediately see the results, and I'm like, oh, I'm definitely starting to see the shades getting brighter and brighter, or whiter and whiter.
If you have yellowing between your teeth, if you have coffee or tea stains near your gum line, just snap, swab, and smile. And in each 5-minute application, you'll see whiter teeth. So stop whitening your smile the old-fashioned way with strips and trays and start using the Power Swabs 5-minute solution.
Well, they're whiter, they're brighter, and I feel better about my smile. And it was so easy to do.
One friend was like, your teeth look like really white. Did you do anything to it? And I was like, I did. I did Power Swabs.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. This Cyber Week, order Power Swabs and receive up to 50% off the retail price. And as an added bonus, get a free Power Swabs Quick Stick pen with your order. The Quick Stick pen is your on-the-go solution to help prevent stains from adhering to your teeth after drinking coffee, tea, or even after smoking. And in addition to saving up to 50% off and your free Quick Stick pen, get free shipping by ordering now. Dial the number on your screen or visit powerswabs.com today.
You want it
we got it, it's all here. Rosemont it. You want some ice time, a nice time, so good you post it twice time. You want some cheer? Now I'll show you where you gotta be. Tell you who you gotta see. Ooh, it's gonna make you smile. You want it, we got it, it's all here. Rosemont.
Enjoy the magic of the North Pole, just east of O'Hare, with miles of memories waiting to be made. To Rosemont it your way, start at rosemont.com.
Rosemont.
We've got a lot of news to cover tonight. Our Eye on America looks at how emergency rooms across the country are improving readiness to help save kids' lives. And the results tonight will surprise you. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, a former member of the U.S. Paralympics team is looking to get the word out about inclusive play on Madison playgrounds. We'll have that story and more coming up at 6.
Well, look at this. Festive highway signs delivering an important message to drivers in New Jersey while also making people chuckle. Some of the highway signs read, "Reckless drivers are worse than fruitcake," and "Only Rudolph should be lit."
Similar signs were taken down by the Federal Highway Administration this time last year after it said the signs were a little too distracting. But this year, the DOT says they're toning it down and they're keeping the signs up.
I like that one. Don't be a Grinch. Let people merge.
Let people merge.
The Wisconsin DOT does that.
Yeah, they do.
You see them all the time. So
we have a sense of humor.
Yeah, maybe we're a little more sophisticated and know to keep. In New Jersey, just drive where you want.
All right, Gary. Final check of the forecast.
Yeah, a little chilly out there. There's the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam. Skies are partly cloudy right now. Temperatures 20 in Madison. I think temperatures will hold nearly steady this evening. A few places are in the upper teens. Here in Dane County, it's 18 right now in the town of Perry, 19 in Belleville, 20 in Middleton. But you factor in the winds, and it still feels like temperatures are in the single digits to around 10 degrees. Those numbers will improve later tonight as well.
Oh, that'll feel good. Thanks for watching, everybody. The CBS Evening News is coming up next. We'll see you back here at 6.